First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostle of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elders and Akim pushing this truth and sincerity. And to the elect who are receiving this truth, we say grace be unto you. I'm the brother Kahan from the GMS Dallas camp, alongside with
your brother Benar Ban.
And we want to basically get into a quick article that we kind of found, just showing again the hypocrisy, the deception of so-called Edomites, the Edomites rather, so-called white people, and how this administration is protecting a lot of them. So we're gonna just get a quick article and get a couple precepts and hopefully be edifying. Okay, let me pull it up real quick. Okay. It says, first South Africans to arrive in America despite Trump refugee freezes, right? So again, it's just highlighting how this world, or this kingdom actually, this empire is just filled with hypocrisy, it's filled with, deception. And again, it's just one more observation of how you so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are not being protected, right? So I'm gonna let the priest go ahead and read a little bit of the of the report, and then we'll get some scriptures.
This is from the Independent, I guess the politics sector. It says, first white South Africans to arrive in America despite Trump's refugee freeze. Mm-hmm. All right. We'll read the great area. White South Africans demonstrate in support of U.S. President Donald Trump in front of the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa, February 15th, 2025. And it says white, okay? We know there's no such thing as white people, just like there's no such thing as black people. That's a construct, social construct that was initiated here in America because the so-proclaimed white man is really a red man. Scriptures define him as Esau Edom, red because his blood shows through his skin, whereas the people that he defines as black people are just people with melanin. Okay, they have a distinct color, which is a blessing from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua upon them. So when they say white, they're just trying to separate as a social construct between the haves and the have-nots, right? Those that have power and those that don't have power. So reading the article, says the Trump administration is preparing to welcome the first group of white South African refugees to the United States as early as next week, according to the three sources familiar with the matter. It says this move comes despite the administration restrictions on refugee admissions from other parts of the world, highlighting a divisive approach to immigration policy. Now, we a person may read this and get upset. Okay, because Esau Edom likes to what? He likes to poke at the bear. A lot of these things that he does it to what? Piss you off. So you can get carnal. This is not the time to get carnal.
That's right.
We're at the end.
That's right.
Where the carnal man is going to be revealed. And that's Esau Edom. As the scripture says in Obadiah 1. Okay, we can get that. Because his pride is what shows how his carnality.
Okay.
His pride is what shows his carnality, And in these times, the men of the Lord, specifically Great Millstone, you're going to recognize them by their spirit.
I got it.
Obadiah
1 and 3.
Go ahead.
This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see? Job 9 and 24 said the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So through his pride, he says, who can stop me? Right. I can create an administration that says we're not allowing anyone else in, but who I said can come in. And we're, hey, as a Hebrew Israelite, I'm okay with that. Because now Donald Trump is showing the true color of white supremacy. That's right. That's
All right.
beautiful.
Did you,
Yeah,
did you answer?
yeah. No, and just to add on to what the priest is going into, a part of the characteristics of Esau is his pride. And that's one thing that the scripture reveals to us. Another important thing about being in this truth is understanding how to be consistent and how not to be consistent, right? Bible Shop, we can go to Psalms 26:4 real quick.
Okay, let me see if I can get this in a blue letter.
Okay.
The blue letter. It says Psalms.
Yeah, 26:4.
Okay.
And 5 actually.
Okay. Psalms
6 and
26,
4 and 5.
26, 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is Psalms 26, starting at 4. It says, I have not sat with vain persons,
Mm-hmm.
neither will I go in with dissemblers.
Mm-hmm.
I have hated the congregation of evildoers and will not sit with the wicked.
So again, scriptures emphasizes the importance of between one's words and one's actions, and how to avoid those people who make promises who that they can't keep. So you're gonna, as the article is bringing out, you're gonna provide refuge for these so-called right Afrikaans, but you're not gonna acknowledge the colonial and wicked history that these South Africans put on the true people who lived in the land, right? And you're not offering that type of refuge to the so-called Latinos, right? You're deporting them, but you're bringing so-called whites here to America, right? So that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. It doesn't seem like you're being true as far as trying to help people. You're helping one side, but you're not helping the other. You see, so that's a part of the hypocrisy that's being brought out, in the spirit, right? And that goes along with the pride of this devil. That's why he's thinking he can do whatever he wants to. You got it.
Proverbs 16 and 18 say what? Pride.
Proverbs 16 and 18.
Yeah, Proverbs 16, 18.
Okay, I'll read it for you. It says, pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall.
You see? Scripture says what? He that exalted himself shall be abased. Mm-hmm. And you have to also consider who's ruling.
Right.
It's the basis of men.
That's right.
He knows he's nothing. Mm-hmm. That's why he's lifting himself to be something.
That's right.
Right? He's not acknowledging the true power, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Mm-hmm. All right? But at the same time, we're in the last days where you have the President Donald J. Trump saying, make America great again. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing how he plans on making America great again.
Right.
He's tariffing, we can use that word, all these nations. In fact, I was speaking with someone that at the plantation that said he worked out a deal with Europe, where Europe is going to be taxed an additional like 10% or something, whereas for imports, things that they're bringing to America, America's going to tax them heavily. Okay. Whereas the exports, where America's sending to them, is going to stay the same at 1%.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So he's showing his MO, and I'm all right with that. Right, I don't give a damn about white Afrikaners coming here to America. They're coming here to be destroyed.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Let them come here to be destroyed. That's hey, we know at the end of the day, the Lord's doing all these things. Let's get back to the article because I did want to look up. But I didn't make a comment on it said pride goeth before destruction, the haughty spirit before a fall. Because Esau Edom is showing his pride. He has pride parades. Right. Even the Alphabet Gang uses Pride Month and this and that. Right. America's full of pride.
That's right. That's right.
You see, America's full of pride, but America's not full of fear yet.
That's right. That's right.
But the Most High is about to touch this place, and things are just building up, man. So if we go back to that article, we get a little bit more on that article because I want to define to the audience. It says South African. Well, they're not called South Africans. They're called Afrikaners.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You want me to start? It said the Trump administration is preparing to welcome the first.
No, we read that already.
Okay.
We're actually on the third paragraph,
Okay.
assertion.
Okay. I'm going to continue on. It says the assertion that minority, look at that, minority white South Africans or Africans face discrimination from the black majority has spread in far right circles for years and been echoed by Trump's white South African born ally Elon Musk.
Okay, go ahead.
And and this is why it's important to understand the social construct between black and white. See, here black is the minority. Over there, white is the minority. Look at that. So because over there they're experiencing what he calls racism. So he's bringing them, the so-called white minority, to America. But you, who are so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, who are the minority here, you're not going to get that same treatment. That's the hypocrisy, right? He's not bringing any refugee from other African countries, right? So it goes back to that pride and the hypocrisy of this devil, So I just wanted to bring that out, So everything is kind of confusing, but
Yeah. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe unto him that called good evil and evil good."
That's right.
When those, let's look up what they were called. They don't call them South Africans. They might.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make themselves distinct.
Right.
So they call themselves Afrikaners or Afrikaans.
Right. He said it was from earlier. It said from the they were Dutch or what? Didn't we read something where it says they're from?
I got the definition here. I looked it up.
Okay.
I don't know if you're.
Okay. So
okay.
Yeah, you just read it. Yeah.
All right. So on my page, I looked it up. It says Afrikaner.
Mm-hmm.
It says Afrikaners are people in South Africa whose ancestors came from Europe in the 17th century.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It says also Afrikaner from the Cambridge Dictionary, a South African person whose family was originally Dutch, whose first language is Afrikaans. That's not their first language.
That's right.
Their first language would be Dutch.
Right.
Now, meaning it was, they say first language. They're talking about those that were from Europe, from Dutch, that went to South Africa and were born there.
Right.
So their first language, they say, was Afrikaans. Meaning I don't know if they mixed the language with their language.
Right. And then you going into the history of how the British, basically, I'm sure people when they were younger they watched the TV series Shaka Zulu, right? It talked about that whole history as far as how the British went and colonized South Africa because of its resources, because of its ivory, right? So that's how they became the power in that area, and then they call themselves Afrikaans, right? And then you go into that whole apartheid history, where America supported apartheid, and now you seeing the playing out of how they call them your name. Now they're South Africans.
So I looked up Afrikaners and this says Thought CO. It said key takeaways. Afrikaners are people in South Africa whose ancestors came from Europe in the 17th century. Afrikaners played a big role in South Africa's history, including events like the Boer Wars and apartheid. And apartheid was where they were trying to restrict them to speak their language.
It was basically a harsh form of racism, hardcore racism.
Yeah. It says today Afrikaners have a unique culture and speak Afrikaans, a language with roots in Dutch and other languages.
That's right.
You see? It says the Afrikaners are a South African ethnic group who are descended from 17th century Dutch, German,
there you go,
and French settlers to South Africa.
There you go.
And these guys are, they're Edomites.
That's the whole point.
Why do you think Trump is allowing them to come here with no? I bet he's going to give them credit cards, give them a hotel,
citizenship, all that stuff.
Set them up real nice. All because what? They're Edomites, and the lineage is of Elon Musk.
That's right.
It said the Afrikaners slowly developed their own language and culture when they came into contact with Africans and Asians. The word Afrikaner means Africans in Dutch. About 4 million people out of South Africa, total population of 56.5 million. 2017 figures from Statistics South Africa are white. So they're white, right? Though it's unknown if all identify themselves as Afrikaners, World Atlas estimates that 61% of whites in South Africa identify as Afrikaners. Regardless of their small number, Afrikaners have had a large impact on South African history. Yeah, they came there, right, and just took the land as if it was theirs. That land was already preoccupied.
There you go.
The same thing that the so-called white people did to the Indians. They took their lands.
That's right.
So when you see that Donald Trump wants to welcome them in, he's welcoming his people.
That's right.
So you have to understand, according to scriptures, he's going to take care of his kind.
That's right.
I wanted to get a precept real quick. All right, because they went to South Africa and basically tried to enslave the Africans there, all right, or put them under their thumb, or oppress them.
Which they did.
Let's get Proverbs 17:5 real quick, Baba Shah.
Okay.
Proverbs 17:5.
I'll read it for you.
Go ahead, Baba Shah.
Proverbs 17:5, it says, whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished.
So Esau, Edom, right, mocketh the poor. Because even with the Afrikaans going to South Africa, they had abundance.
Absolutely.
And the people that were of that land were poor.
There you go. And Slakia, the article says that. It says, the average white household in South Africa owns 20 times the wealth of the average black household, according to the Review of Political Economy and International Academic Journal. So I just wanted to,
You see? So who's being oppressed? Donald Trump is bringing them here like they're being oppressed. Well, the reason why he's bringing them here because a couple years back, the true people of the land, the native people of the land,
started taking
over and getting their lands back.
That's right.
From the Afrikaans.
That's right.
So that's the reason why Donald Trump is he feels some kind of way toward them. You've been oppressing the people of that land, just like you've been doing here. So again, these things that Donald Trump is doing, we're just witnessing. We're called to be seers and watchers, and we're lining up with the scriptures. He's been himself.
That's right. And the beautiful thing about that is that, this administration is not acknowledging the history of that oppression. That's why we're calling him the hypocrite, right? You're basically giving those who stole the land refuge. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Baba Shah, if we can get Proverbs 12, verse 22.
Okay.
Real quick.
I'll read it.
Okay.
Proverbs 12:22. Hey, 144.
Call Lord Yahweh Bashim Kakadash. That's right.
All right, Proverbs 12:22. It says, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight.
That's right. So if you're not acknowledging the history of your oppression, you're not acknowledging the history of your wickedness, right? You're lying. Those are lying lips, right? You're trying to give the perception, as though these people are being oppressed because their land, is being taken away from them. But you have to acknowledge that they stole the land from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Is that Jeremiah 58:3? Right? Esau, Edom is born. Let's get it.
You mean Psalms 50.
58:3.
50, yeah, 58:3.
It's like it. So nothing different, man. I mean, this devil, he'll glaze over the truth. He'll glaze over it. And the real truth is, do these people deserve to be? Yeah, but they deserve to come here so they can be
destroyed.
Charcoal.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. As the priest is going into, really don't care about what's going on. The whole point is it's playing into prophecy anyway. It's playing into the will of Yahweh that they're being brought over here to be destroyed anyway. You know, but still you have to acknowledge the hypocrisy and the deception that this devil plays on you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of, you know, Jake women saying, yeah, they belong, bring them over here. Yeah, they deserve to come over here. You know, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you agree with your enemy as far as what he's doing, right? And this is Psalms 58:3. Says the wicked are estranged from the womb; they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Yeah, just like you just said, Chris. You know, Yahweh Shemel Shai have given Esau the gift of gab, right? Psalms 55:21 say his words are smooth than butter.
That's right.
So he'll glaze over it with butter, with honey,
right?
And it smell good, it look good, probably even taste good, right?
Jake will eat it up,
but that shit is poison.
That's right.
That shit is poison, you know. And hey, we just report on these things because people may not see. People are so dumbed down, and I say people, I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Latino, Native Indian. You're so dumbed down that it takes the men of the Lord to tell you what the truth is, because you'll believe a lie in a minute. Right. And do we want more on that article?
Yeah, I can read some more a little bit. Just jumping down to where it says the next paragraph: the average white household in South Africa owns. Yeah. Okay. Just to reiterate, the average white household in South Africa owns 20 times the wealth of the average black household. Again, but the question is, where do they get that wealth? How do they get that wealth? Right? What Scripture says, what deceitful riches gotten by
Sirach 10 and 13.
Yes, there you go. It was riches gotten by deceit.
10 and 8.
Riches gotten by deceit, right? It says according to the Review of Political Economy and International Academic Journal. But you want to portray these people as victims, not understanding that they're the ones who stole the land, right? The next paragraph says approximately 50 Afrikaners are expected to arrive at Washington Dulles International Airport in Virginia, where they will reportedly participate in a press conference before traveling to their final destination in the U.S. And again, it's all about optics. It's all about this administration portraying itself to be benevolent. You're doing something good. You're doing something noble, not understanding that this is just playing into your deceit, your pride, right? You got it.
You know, we know that this is not our rest. As we're witnessing all these things that's happening in the last days.
Right.
And things are just being done openly.
Right.
America doesn't care.
Right.
America's like, who can fuck with me?
Right. Right.
But we also know that pursuant to Ecclesiastes 10 and 5.
I get that. Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 5, it says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler.
You have accepted Donald Trump as your ruler, and you don't see all the evil that he's doing. Right? We're telling you that these things that this person you nominated as your president, some of you are regretting it at this time, but some of you are saying, I'm still behind Donald Trump. You're next. You're next. Right? Bible shall read 10 and 6.
Okay, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 6. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places. So
you are the rich, you so-called blacks, Latino, Native Indians. But he's deporting you.
That's right.
He's telling you that I'm going to bring more white people over to suppress you in that question. I need help. Right? 10 and 7, Bible shall.
Ecclesiastes 10 verse 7 says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
So again, in these times, okay, things are turned upside down. We know who the princes really are.
That's right.
Job 9 and 24 says,
earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
He said, if not, who are they? Like the judges.
That's right.
The judges that's walking upon this earth, you know, and judging just simply means you can discern between what's evil and what's, you can discern between what's a lie and what's truth. And where do you find the truth?
Scriptures.
In the scriptures.
That's right.
It's the glasses that you're able to put on, that those things that were hazy that you can really make out. You know, the eye salve of the scriptures allows you to see a lie in the making, right? And we report on that so as to warn Israel the impending doom.
That's right.
If you are attached to Esau, Edom, detach from Esau, Edom, man. This is that time that you'll do that because guess what? The brother quoted Sirach 10 and 8. We'll get that.
Okay.
Sirach 10 and 8, and that's all I got.
Okay. This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
So that's what we're waiting for, man.
That's right.
The Lord Yahweh Shema Shah said, avenge not thyself.
That's right.
He said, vengeance is his.
That's right.
And like brothers always going to, Yahweh Shah is waiting.
That's right.
Waiting to come upon this earth and touch America because America has never been touched.
That's right.
It goes into that in Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, right? That she will not be healed, right?
That's right.
That she's worthy because the cup that she made all the nations drink, she's going to drink it.
Revelation 16,
well, right?
That's absolutely.
And that's what we're waiting for, the translation of power. This earth is about to be under new management.
Man,
so let Esau do what he's programmed to do.
That's right.
Okay, until Yahweh Shema Shah returns to do what he has to do.
That's right. That's right. And even verse 9 says, why is earth and ashes proud? Well, Yahweh Shema Shah made Esau perfectly that way, that he's prideful, he's a hypocrite, and he's showing you the wickedness of his character, right? And it's being more and more revealed in articles, people bringing out, all kinds of information on how Esau is basically being found out. He's being searched out. At this particular time, this particular point, there's so much information coming out that, you so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans should understand who your enemy is, right? And you should act accordingly. Come back to the scriptures, come back to the obedience and fear of Yahweh Shema Shai, so that, this devil could be removed. You got it?
That's all I got, bro. Hey, with that being said, we want to give our thanks, our praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone, who rule well, teach well, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom,
shalom, shalom.
Shalom.